It finally happened after about 3 goddamn years. Bayley finally turns heel. And I love it. What's going on, buddy? This is Dan Unfiltered. This is Unfiltered Wrestling. And it finally happened. I'm excited for it. I'm going to break down the show. But I got to start off. I got to just talk about it. I have to, because not a hell of a lot happened on this show. But what did happen, what happened in the main event, Bayley finally turns. It's about goddamn time. But yes, the main event was the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions, Bayley teaming up with Becky versus the female tag team champions, which is Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. And I guess they're supposed to be hyping up the Clash of Champions story that the pay-per-view is all about. The match was okay, and at the time of watching it, I was thinking, why the hell is this the main event? Like this, they really didn't hype it up much. No one in the audience seemed to give a shit. But in the middle of the match, Sasha Banks, music hits, she comes out, she does just a brief distraction, and she eventually clobbers Becky Lynch, gets DQ'd. Nikki and Alexa just kind of like vanish. They just Thanos the hell away. But it was nice. It really was. It was nice. Bayley picks up a chair. And you could feel the energy in the room change. Like, the audience suddenly gave a shit about this whole match and segment. Because they were thinking, what happened? They're like, hopefully she turns here. Hopefully this is when it happens. But they've teased it for so long, it started to become, she's not turning. And she's going to face Charlotte coming up, so that would be kind of odd. But no, she grabs a chair, and as Becky is slowly getting up, smashes her multiple times. It was great. The place actually low-key kind of erupted with yes chants. And it's not that they dislike Becky, it's about damn time Bayley does something with her character. She's been the same hugger for years, and it worked in NXT. But it didn't work on the main roster. It died. It flopped. It failed. She needed to turn. She finally did. And her and Sasha, the show ends with her and Sasha standing next to each other like villains. But I love it. But my only problem is they've already started the Charlotte. Like, that match is already booked. Bayley versus Charlotte at Clash of Champions. Charlotte's a heel. Charlotte definitely works better as a heel. So you can tell this feud, like this idea of Bayley turning heel, was very recent. Like, Vince approved this one very recently, or he wouldn't have put Bayley versus Charlotte. He wouldn't have done that. Because it's going to be two heels, or you're going to suddenly have to turn Charlotte face out of nowhere. So you can tell it came out of left field, but either way, it's goddamn fantastic. And now Bayley, she has to retain that Clash of Champions. She has to beat Charlotte. Very excited for where her character's going. And damn it, that one angle, this whole Raw was basically skippable. That one angle made SmackDown now a kind of a must-watch. You know what I mean? I have to know what Bayley's going to say and how she's going to act. Because they better not try to undo this on SmackDown and try to, like, take a couple steps back like it was just in the spur of the moment, not really a heel turn. No, fuck that. Bayley needs to go full-blown dark side heel here. I don't want any bullshit. Yeah, don't fuck this up. Bayley's finally interesting for the first time since NXT. Don't fuck that up. Alright, let me get in the actual show. First thing that happens was a contract signing. Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, they're supposed to be signing their contract for a Universal title match at Clash of Champions. You know, classic WWE contract signing, little table, there's chairs, they talk a little. Basically, who gives a shit? Michael Cole is the moderator. A nice change of pace. Instead of a fight breaking out between the two of them, a third party, the OC, come out and kind of just fuck it all up. They fuck it all up. A big fight ensues. Braun Strowman launches the table and it hits AJ look like right in the face. It's pretty sweet. But it just clearly it's setting up a tag match. I won't say who cares because, you know, that's fun. It was a fun little tag match. Rollins and Strowman beat the OC. They beat Gallows and Anderson. Cool. I need this Rollins and Strowman feud. They have another week. So hopefully next week the Rollins and Strowman thing will pick up a little. Because right now it just feels like Rollins is going to retain. And I'm not sure why they have AJ Styles. Like, it feels like he's being included in this feud. Which I would love him to be. I would prefer it to be a triple threat match, actually. I would love him to be included as U.S. champion versus the Universal champion and tag champions. So all three of them enter the pay-per-view with titles, but at Clash of Champions, all titles must be defended. So that means they're going to defend their titles probably against Gallows and Anderson. I can't remember who. I think it's them. Or is it Ziggler and Rude? Whatever. They're defending their titles. And it would be nice for them to lose their titles to whatever team. I don't give a shit who, honestly. And then AJ Styles face, I don't care, Ricochet or Cedric Alexander. And also lose his based on some weird buffoonery. And then your main event, it's like the three of you came in with all these belts, and now you're all three just fighting for one. It's a nice Clash of Champions moment. It'd be nice, but I don't know. If AJ isn't going to be included in that match, then I don't know why they're having the OC lose to just to put over Rollins and Strowman if AJ is not going to be added. That would be stupid to me. My 2 cents. Then they had Ziggler versus Ziggler and Robert Roode, which they haven't come up with a name yet. And they kind of need to because it's such a random team. You kind of need a catchy name, or it's gonna lose steam quickly. You can't just say Ziggler and Roode. It doesn't spark interest. They faced Hawkins and Ryder. Let's be honest, we all know who the hell was winning that. Roode Ziggler win. And I'm actually surprised they've been letting when that team has won, they've been winning by Bobby Roode, Robert Roode's finisher, the glorious DDT instead of Ziggler's super kick. I like it. It's building them as a team, and it's kind of starting to give Robert Roode credibility. About goddamn time. Next up, Natalya versus Lacey Evans. Why the hell did this match happen? Like, no. And I want to hear, but they had a backstage segment where they talked to each other for a couple seconds, and it booked a match. No, I don't care. This was a waste of everyone's time. Natalya versus Lacey Evans. Natalya needs to retire or take a substantial period of rest or vacation. She has no momentum. Lacey Evans wins with her damn punch, but again, no one cared. The crowd was dead. Beating Natalya does not get anyone over anymore. It doesn't, because nobody really cares enough about her to give the enemy heat. No one ever dislikes her enough to give a babyface momentum. It's like Natalya is just kind of there. It might as well have been Alicia Fox. The vibe would have been exactly the same. It didn't matter. But yeah, Lacey Evans won. Who cares? Becky Lynch accepts Sasha Banks' challenge. Sasha Banks challenged Becky Lynch to a title match. We all knew this was going to happen. That's the match at Clash of Champions. Becky versus Banks. Good, and good lord did Sasha Banks look fantastic. And she had like a one piece on. It was great. She looked way better in this than she does in her ring gear. Like, fuck, they made it figure out if they can. She's a super heel now. Can they like give her new ring gear? She looks 1,000 times better like this. Not just attractiveness, which she looked better that way too, but also character-wise. It looked fresh. It looked better. I'm tired of the damn cross top she has and the little shorts. It just doesn't work anymore. No one cares. It doesn't bring any new vibes. It doesn't look like a boss. This looked great. And we all know that was the match that they were going to set up. They needed to do it to make it official. I'm okay with it. Good enough segment. Sasha still, you can tell, is kind of rusty at being a heel, though, like with her mic work. She'll get there, though. I have full faith she'll get there. Because her NXT days, she was so good as a heel. I'm not worried about it. She just, you can tell, she's a little off right now at being a heel. Then we had a King of the Ring match. Cedric Alexander versus Baron Corbin. This is another one where it's like we all knew who was going to win. Baron Corbin. Because there's a lot of rumors that Baron Corbin's going to win this damn thing. And I don't know if he's going to win, but he's definitely going to get close. I knew from the get-go he was definitely going to get close. Just because he does get heat. People legitimately dislike Baron Corbin. They do. Whether that's X-Pac heat or whatever you want to call it, he gets a reaction. People don't want to see him win. So, someone like that is good to have go far into a tournament. Hopefully he doesn't win, but I'd love to see him get to the finals and lose. That'd be great. That'd be cool. I'd be cool with that. And he didn't win clean, of course he didn't. He did a little trip. He tripped Cedric and then his move. A little trip just to save Cedric a little, but it was mostly clean. And Baron looked really good in this match. Like that's actually a feud I would like to see once this whole tournament and Clash of Champions is over. Is Cedric Alexander in a mini feud, maybe that doesn't even get a pay-per-view match, but a mini feud versus Baron Corbin would be kind of cool. They had really good in-ring chemistry. Next up, we had the Viking Raiders in another squash match. What the fuck are they doing with them? Like, stop. Just no more. No mas. No more. The Viking Raiders don't need to squash people. I'd rather them not on TV than coming out and squashing jobbers, local talent, for no reason. It helps nobody. It really doesn't. It doesn't help anyone at all. Give them like promos backstage like the Bludgeon Brothers did for months. If you remember that team, Luke Harper and Rowan, the Bludgeon Brothers, from like a year or so ago. Just let them do backstage bullshit, holding hammers and building up their characters. But these squash matches aren't doing anything anymore. They're starting to not make any goddamn sense. Because they just fought the OC last week to a double countout. But now they're like, okay, cool, who gives a shit? Let's just beat up some local talent, some guys half our size. Yeah, it looked... No. They've been up too long to continuously be doing that. They need a fucking feud. I don't even care who it is. Let them beat up Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins for 3 weeks. Just some type of storyline. They need something, because right now no one cares about them. And we had another King of the Ring match. Ricochet versus Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's kind of over, man. Let's be honest. And I'm not 100% sure if he's a heel or a face. It's kind of hard to tell now. He's kind of in a weird tweener spot. It's like they don't exactly know which spot he's supposed to be in. I think he's still a heel, but you can feel it's kind of iffy. But the finish is all that matters in this match. The match is okay. Again, who cares? It's all about the finish here. Ricochet went up top to do, I guess, his finisher, the reverse 450 or whatever. He went up top to do a move. I'll just say exactly. You never know what he's going to do until he does it. And Samoa Joe caught him from behind, locks in the coquina clutch, his little sleeper hold on the top turnbuckle, and Ricochet like jumps back, try to get him off. They both land on the ring. Cool, no big deal. Both of their arms are draped across the other man's. Both their shoulders are down. The ref counts 1, 2, 3, rings the bell, and that's it. And then they say they're going to come to a decision on what to do later in the show. And they do. And the decision was to make it a triple threat match with Corbin, Ricochet, and Samoa Joe. Now, is that okay? I guess. But I would just have... and it looks like Baron Corbin's probably going to win that. That looks like this was just a way to convoluted way to protect Ricochet and Samoa Joe at the same time. But if you wanted to advance Baron Corbin anyway, and he's an asshole heel that no one wants to see get far into this tournament, how about the finish was fine. How about they just, instead of advancing, they both are eliminated? That's how they used to do it back in the day, when King of the Ring was a thing back in the Hogan Macho Man era, Mr. Perfect era. They had convoluted double countouts and stuff like that, and you both were gone. That's it. You both are gone. You don't both advance. You both lost. That's it. And that's how I felt with Ricochet and Samoa Joe. It didn't feel like they both won. When both of you are unconscious with an arm draped over your opponent, but an arm draped on you also, it looks like you both just lost. Not won. You're both flat on your asses. You lost. I think both should have just been out of the tournament. Corbin moves on. So then at the pay-per-view, he looks like even more of a piece of shit because he doesn't even have another match. He gets to rest. He gets a bye. That would be great. And then whatever babyface that faces him in the finals, hopefully winning, looks like a super, super underdog. But instead, if Corbin wins in a triple threat, he technically had a harder journey to the finals than the babyface would have. Just saying. Just my thoughts, that's all. Who am I? Just a humble viewer, I guess. But then we had a Firefly Funhouse. A fresh one, too. First new one in a while. And, just like all of them, this was good. This was quite good. This is one of the better ones, and this is one of the better ones, period. The point of it was he challenges the Universal Champion, be it Braun or Seth at Hell in a Cell. So we have our match. It's going to be most likely Seth, but it will definitely be one of those two versus Bray Wyatt at Hell in a Cell. Oh, and that's going to be good. The visual, because now they have that red cell, which I'm not a big fan of, but with a Fiend inside it for the Universal title. Yeah, that's going to look really good. That's going to look really good. A funny thing that happened in this, though, that I'm surprised they do it, and this is not the first time they've done it in the Firefly Funhouse, was a Vince McMahon puppet pops up with devil horns, and he's basically just a character of Vince. He's like what fans think of Vince McMahon. He's a money-hungry douchebag. And he basically was about to do his "you're fired" to Bray. Bray cut him off and told him, "Yes, but you don't fire me because I make you." And he pulled out a huge wad of cash, a lot of this. And he's not wrong. The Fiend and Bray Wyatt, I bet, are selling the hell out of masks, gloves, shirts right now. So he's probably making Vince a ton of money. And then he grabs one bill, $100 bill, and puts it in the puppet's mouth, and the fucking Vince McMahon doll eats it. Very strange, but they're letting Bray just do whatever the hell he wants in these, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And it got me excited. I'm more excited for Hell in a Cell now than Clash of Champions, just because The Fiend will probably be in a Hell in a Cell match for the Universal title. And I don't care if it's against Braun, because that's a good storyline, or Seth, because that's a pretty good one you could create there also. Good job. Good job. Then The Miz faced Cesaro in a match that didn't really need to happen. They did just to try to get Miz some momentum so people would care and not forget that he's facing Nakamura for the IC title at Clash of Champions. But I don't like them using Cesaro for that. If you guys watched NXT UK, Cesaro made an appearance and had a goddamn fine showing. He looked really good. And he won. And then you bring him here just to lose the Miz clean is like, Not only does it make Cesaro look kind of like a chump, but it damn sure makes the NXT UK roster look like shit, because the guy who just walked into your building and beat one of your better people can't beat the Miz. And I like the Miz a lot as a heel. As a face, he's iffy. He's always great on the mic. He's a likable dude, but he's been a shithead heel for too long to suddenly make him a face, and now he's winning clean again. It's like, he never really won clean before, but now he is. It just feels wrong. Seeing him beat a guy like Cesaro 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring feels a little off. Frankly, I would just prefer, me personally, I would rather see Cesaro versus Nakamura for the IC title at Clash of Champions. Cesaro as a babyface versus a heel Nakamura with Sami Zayn. I'm way more intrigued. That match would be a goddamn fight. That'd be a slobber knocker. But Miz versus Nakamura will be fine. But you know how Miz matches are. They're entertaining, but there's nothing going to happen in them that you haven't seen before. Cesaro Nakamura, maybe. But yep. Then main event talked about earlier was Bayley and Becky versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Sasha Banks interfered. DQ happens. She grabs a chair, beats the shit out of Becky quite a bit with it. Tosses the chair on the ground, gloats. Bayley gets in the ring. They get face to face, Sasha and Bayley. Then Bayley picks up a chair, starts beating the hell out of Becky Lynch, and it was glorious. It was great. It was one of the better endings to Raw in a while. I'm excited. It makes me have to watch SmackDown, which that's always good. That's something that Raw and SmackDown have failed at for years now, is getting you excited for the next week's episode. This one did that. I'm glad. Thank goodness for Bayley's career. This is great for Bayley that she has some character development again. It's just odd that the timing is odd since she's already supposed to face Charlotte. That's odd. You turned on Becky now, but you're facing Charlotte. Becky, and it's like now I'd rather see Becky versus Bayley than I'd rather see Becky, Sasha, or, you know what I mean? The matchups are now fucked up. That's all. The matchups are now just all screwed up. Like, frankly, I was gonna say maybe they could do a tag team. Bayley and Sasha versus, yeah, they could try that. Maybe Bayley and Sasha team up versus Charlotte and Becky, and the winning team takes both belts. That'd be cool. Yeah, okay, that's a nice idea out of it, if they do that. If not, then it's just weird as hell. But anyway, I'm getting out of here, guys. I don't want to waste your time. It was fun. Half of it was fun. Half of, like an hour and a half, was wasted time. But it was all worth it in the end. It was all worth it in the end. If you guys haven't seen this episode, just YouTube and watch the Bayley heel turn. That's all that really, really matters. That's about it. Alright, everybody, please hit like, please subscribe if you're new. Also, if you have any wrestling fans, let them know about the channel. It would be much appreciated, because the only way to grow this channel is wrestling fans, no other wrestling fans. Appreciate you guys.